Hi, I'm Ed.
I'm Barb.
And this is Carp Family Adventures. So now we're going to talk about 2 days on our segment of the world cruise. The first day is a sea day. It was Monday, February 3rd. And then the next day we pulled into port in Fiji. So that's Tuesday, February 4th. So we'll show you what we got in Fiji.
What we didn't get, or what we lost.
Oh yeah.
We have a story about that.
So on Monday, we woke up and went to the breakfast buffet as usual, and then we went to the enrichment lecture. And this time it was on the Matson ships going to New Zealand. They visited the big cities, I think Auckland and yeah. And then, I have some video of us passing a couple islands. It looks like the island of Alofi, which is an uninhabited island in the South Pacific. We passed, but we could see it because we were only like 15 miles away. So that was interesting. The first land we've seen for a while, so that was good.
Yeah.
Then I also have some video of the Princess Pop Choir. They did one of their performances in the plaza of the ship.
Right.
So there were quite a few people there singing, so that was interesting to watch. And the leader of the pop choir is the piano player in Crooner's Bar. So he was the one who was also doing the pop choir. And I think they have another performance coming up too. So it's not like they, like on most of the cruises we've been on, I think they rehearse for the whole cruise and then one of the last days they'll do a performance. But this one continues to rehearse and then has multiple performances. So
well, it is a long cruise.
Yeah. Yeah, and then the sun went down. It looked pretty nice, and we ate dinner at the dinner buffet, so it was a typical sea day. We did trivia, which was the oldies music trivia.
Oh, that was funny.
Yeah, it was kind of fun because a lot of it was good because it wasn't all just the, Johnny Be Good and stuff like that for oldies. It was a couple obscure ones, a couple familiar ones. We didn't do great on that one.
But I thought we did better than I thought we were going to do.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
That was nice.
It was pretty good. And then the game show after that was Generation Gap game show.
Oh, right.
And on the title card, they called it Generation Frustration game show.
Yeah.
But it was the same thing. And it was just trivia from different decades.
Yeah.
And things that they split the room in two, and like the left side and the right side were teams.
So we were split because
I guess we were split.
Kind of down the middle.
Yeah.
Where we sit in the Explorer's Lounge.
Yeah.
Kind of in the middle there.
I don't think people paid attention too much to the teams, except maybe the people up front, because they were kind of yelling out the answers for both teams, and I couldn't even tell which of the cruise directors was answering the questions half the time.
I think in the past what they would do is the the team captain would run into the audience, and you'd raise your hand if you knew the answer and you were part of your team. They would go to you, and then you would say it in the mic, and then if you didn't get it right, then it shot over to the other side. Right. So it was a little different, but it was. I didn't mind it the way they did it.
This one, everyone was just yelling out the answers, but it was fun.
Well, to a point, but still, it was good. They still had a winner. I guess the side I was on won.
Yeah. So that was that. Then we came back to the cabin. So then we went to bed and got up early the next day for Fiji. So we landed in the capital city of Suva on Fiji, on the biggest island of Fiji, I guess, and the biggest city, because we found out that in Suva and the suburbs, there are about 300,000 people, which is quite a lot, and it's a third of the population of the entire Fiji Islands, which are hundreds of islands. Only a few of them are inhabited, though. So they have 900,000 people in all the islands, and 300,000 live in Suva. So it was nice. Pulling into Suva was interesting. We went through this, it looked like a narrow channel between reefs. The captain called them reefs. And there were some boats capsized on either side of us, and some boats sitting on either side of us. Didn't appear to be being used, but some old ferries just kind of sitting there all day.
It's pretty neat.
Yeah, and then other ships and boats coming in.
And it was raining.
Yeah, it was raining. It rained really hard when we were coming in, and then it kind of slowed down a little bit. It rained a little in the morning, and then it would rain, I think, later in the day too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It didn't affect us. We were lucky.
We were lucky, yeah. So we did have an excursion booked in Suva, which was the Fiji Museum and Thurston Gardens, which is one of the bigger attractions that they have there, which was nice. So we got on the bus.
Which was really weird because we got on the bus and they're like, "Are you Barb? Are you Barb?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "What?" So I guess because of us going down to the excursion desk, they were really kind and reserved the front 2 seats for Ed and I. And the guys were really sweet with my scooter. We folded it up. They put it in underneath, and everything was great. And then we got to the port, the destinations, and right away they would pull it out for me, and I was like, "Whoa, I like this."
Yeah, they were really
I did
good.
feel a little guilty, but it was nice that they took the time to do that.
Yeah.
For us. Well, for me, I guess.
Yeah.
But, so it was nice.
So we went on the bus. It was a really nice bus too, because it was interesting because, before we got on it, looking from our cabin out to the port of Suva, which is really industrial and mostly just cargo containers.
Well, and it's also the shipping. I mean, the bus terminal.
Right.
It's like right. You see, when you look down, you see all the shipping containers, and then just beyond that, it's their bus terminal. So they have all the buses there.
Yeah, and the buses for the people who live on the island are not air conditioned. They're all like open and just kind of older buses. But the buses for the tourists were nice air conditioned travel buses, which were really
nice.
really good. Yeah. So we drove a short distance. Oh, and they do drive on the left side of the road, right, in Fiji, and
I'm like, wait,
of course the steering wheel was on the right side, so of the bus, so it was a little different than the ports the excursions we go to in the U.S. But the driver drove us. It only took 5 or 10 minutes to get to the Fiji Museum, which was really nice. A really good collection they have there.
Yeah, it was neat.
The building was nice too. Not huge, but they had a lot of stuff from the history of Fiji, which was settled by different Polynesian groups. Our tour bus driver basically said that nobody really knows where all the native Fijians come from, because there were 2 main groups. I guess one of them came from Taiwan this we found out at the museum, or I read something about it, from Taiwan in 800 BC, and then there was another group who came from Africa, and various other groups have come since, but the native Fijians have been there for thousands of years.
Well, they were saying too that it's hard to. Well, he was saying that it's hard to know exactly because back then their education wasn't.
Yeah, they just had oral histories and really dance, I guess, was the way.
So
sort of like the Hawaiians. Yeah, they communicated their history through dance, so I guess it was complicated. But the Fiji Museum had relics from all different time periods in Fiji. They had recreations of boats, like a big outrigger in the front, and some other boats. They had, it was...
A printing press, that was...
Yeah, a printing press from the British colonialism era. Another thing that was interesting that I get a picture of was the cannibalism forks. They called, in the museum, they called them flesh forks. So Fijians practice cannibalism, and we learned some about that in the port experts talk. So that was interesting.
And that was upstairs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
upstairs.
there was a little bit upstairs. I didn't make it up there. So.
Yeah, they had a new
So
edition.
it's good that you saw that
Upstairs. So yeah, it was interesting to see some of those stories. We went to the gift shop. We went outside is the Thurston Gardens, which is a fairly small garden. It was hard to get around because the scooter wouldn't go really on. They only had a few paths that were basically not cobblestone, but like flagstone paths.
But I was okay with that because they did have a ramp. Like they built a ramp. It was like a really nice one getting up to the museum.
Yeah.
And then they even had a handicapped bathroom.
Yeah, everything was set up.
It was amazing.
Yeah, except for it was hard to like get through the gardens. But you could see basically the whole garden.
Yeah, so. I was okay with where I was.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
And it has a little bandstand and a little clock tower, I guess, are the centerpiece of the garden. But the most interesting thing was the fruit bats that they have in the trees.
Oh, right.
Flying foxes or fruit bats, fairly large ones. They were just kind of hanging from the trees. They didn't seem to be too, they weren't hunting mosquitoes or whatever they do, or fruit, I guess they eat. They weren't doing too much, so we got some pictures of them. Then we got back on the bus and took a drive around Suva on the bus, around the city of Suva on the bus, which it is geographically fairly big city.
But that's when we think our mishap happened.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So I don't know if you've noticed on some of the videos that we've been posting that we have a 360 camera, which gives you really neat angles, and I don't know. I love that camera. It's great. But when we got back from the museum onto the bus, we think it fell out of our bag because Ed heard a sound, and we thought it was just one of our water bottles. But in reality, looking back now, we think it was the 360 camera. So when we got back on board, we didn't think about it. But then later we decided we were going to go up and do some footage. And that's when we noticed it was gone. Yeah. So we went right away to the
guest services,
and they were amazing.
Yeah, they were really good.
You know, I mean, it's again, I've been really happy with Princess.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm really sad we lost the camera, but when we went to the desk, they helped us, and they, instead of just saying, "Oh, let me get your information and we'll look into it," she ran across the desk to another phone, then her phone. She paged like 3 of the shore excursion people because they're out on land with, dealing with the shore excursion.
Yeah.
Because we were still in port for another, 2 hours, I think?
Yeah, we had a couple hours.
And it was amazing. So eventually we were standing there. It was really fast. 2 of them got back to her. And so they took our information and we explained what camera it was. And they were going to look into it. And unfortunately, like an hour or 2 later, we got a phone call in our room, and they said they couldn't find it on the bus.
Yeah, so they did search the bus, but someone must have taken it or something. So.
Yeah, but I was props to the Princess.
Yeah, they did a good job. So we'll probably look at some of the other ports, although all of them are small towns in New Zealand, but we'll see if we can find a 360.
Yes. Sorry, I can't get comfortable.
Sorry.
Well, it's hard too because the ship, it's really rocking and moving. So
we're finally getting back into the feeling the motion because we didn't mention this before, but when you're close to the equator, I guess you're in the intertropical convergence zone, which they call the doldrums in the Atlantic, which is where basically there's little wind and there's no heavy waves. So we've been there for quite a while. So finally moving toward Fiji, we're getting south, and now toward New Zealand, we're getting pretty far south.
And what was it that the captain came on and was saying that not to worry about?
Oh, there was a cyclone too in the water somewhere on our path. So if that had developed to be worse, we would have had to change our course, I think. But he said not to worry about it. By the time we get there, it'll blow out.
That would have been another first for us. But anyway.
Yeah, a cyclone, that would have been interesting to see. Yeah. But of course, we wouldn't have gotten close to it, I'm sure.
It's been entertaining, but anyways. Yeah, so going back, sorry, took a little sidestep, but going back to our tour, we came back to basically the port, like a block or 2 away from the port is their biggest gift shop called Jack's of Fiji. And it wasn't even really, it was even almost a department store rather than a gift shop because they didn't just have tourist clothes, they had shoes and Birkenstocks. It was kind of like, I was trying to figure out what it reminded me of back when we were younger. I don't know, was it like maybe like a Woolworths or...
Yeah.
I don't know. It was because they had shoes. They had regular clothes, but then touristy
and
stuff.
Tourist stuff too,
It was
pretty nice and professional and everything.
Super nice people in there
really
too.
Nice
oh my
people.
God!
They were helpful.
And again, I know they're trying to sell you stuff, but you could kind of tell the difference too. And even when we were outside, people came up to us and said hello and shook our hands.
Yeah,
and
they say bula because that's their greeting, the equivalent of aloha. I didn't know whether to say bula back to him because it's more like welcome than hello. But
so I would just said hi.
Yeah, and they were trying to be helpful about like guiding us to different shops if we were interested in clothes to go down the street or whatever.
But not like in a pushy way.
No, not at all. Not even
like in a friendly, like really friendly.
Yeah, no. And tourism, we did learn that, of course, for a lot of these South Pacific Islands, tourism is a major source in the economy, and they've had some difficult times over the years with multiple coups and things like that.
Yeah.
And it seems very politically unstable there. So it's good that the cruise industry has increased their stops at Fiji, so their economy seems to be improving now. They were all glad to see people on the cruise ships. So Jack's, we didn't buy anything at Jack's of Fiji. We looked at several things, but we didn't end up buying anything. Then they kept us all together, even though it would have been a short walk to the pier. They kept us all together on the bus, and
just for safety reasons. But I didn't feel unsafe.
No, it wasn't unsafe.
It was busy.
We did have to drive back in through the port where they check security and stuff like that. So probably easier to drive back than to walk back.
And then we saw 2 McDonald's and 1 Burger King.
Right, yeah.
So that was kind of neat.
Yeah, other than that, there wasn't much American.
No.
I
saw some ads like for English stuff
that
I'm used to. But other than that, no.
And all the signs were in English, and everybody spoke really good English, even though there are 3 languages, official languages.
Oh, that's right.
In Fiji. One is native Fijian, English is another, and the other one is Hindi, because there's a large Indian population from colonialism, because the British took indentured servants to work in the sugarcane industry in Fiji. So many Indians, people from India, settled in Fiji and stayed there. So big Indian population. So that was Fiji. We got back, we ate. We had a little difficulty leaving the port.
Oh, that's right.
And we had a sort of a good view of it.
Because
it was on our side of the ship. They had lowered a platform to bring on stores. It looked like food. I think I saw eggs and some other things.
Say eggs.
They were loading from trucks onto the ship over this platform, and then at the end there was some difficulty in closing
the
platform, like pulling it up, because they used it both as a floor when it was open and then a door, and I guess they couldn't get it latched or something. So the captain even came on and said, we're having some issues, but as soon as we close this, we'll be gone. But it did take maybe 45 minutes or an hour to get it closed, but then it was closed, and everything seems to be fine since then. So we left Fiji. We left Fiji. Was it raining? I think it was cloudy.
It was cloudy, and then there was a little here and there.
Yeah, we didn't get much of a sunset or anything.
But we hung out on our balcony most of it.
Yeah, because it was hot and humid in Fiji, but it wasn't unbearable. So it was.
I was able to tolerate it. So a lot of you that know me, you'd be like, oh, okay.
So then we left port. It was nice leaving port.
It was a little later than we thought originally.
We passed those ships in the harbor again, and
it was neat. I got some pictures, and then we went up and grabbed something to eat, and then we went into Explorer's Lounge and hung out for about an hour before the next.
We went early.
And we did some reading, which is nice. And staked out our seats.
The trivia was the movie themes trivia, so they played the music, and you had to guess the movie it was from, and so we won that. We got 19 out of 20.
Which was good, but it's kind of weird that the one that we did miss, you kind of, after you hear it, you're like, oh, it makes sense. But it was American Beauty.
Yeah, we might remember that in the future.
But we should remember it because the instrument that they used. Was it? It
was something with mallets.
Yeah,
I'm not sure
mallets.
if it was a marimba or xylophone. Xylophone. One of those.
So we know that well.
Instruments. So hopefully we'll remember that if they use that again. But that was kind of fun.
We got some more luggage
tags as prizes.
So originally they gave us a bottle of their champagne, and I said, thank you, but we don't drink, so why don't you can go ahead and give it to somebody else. So she asked if anybody else wanted it, and there was a gentleman that raised his hand right away.
The first person who said they wanted it, she just gave it.
Yeah, which was nice, and he thanked us, and we're like, sure. And then she came back, she says, I'm going to still give you some prize. So we're like, we're okay, but it was sweet. She gave us 2 luggage tags and 2 of their pens.
All of them with the World Cruise logo
stuff on it.
2025.
So guess what's going on my scooter? One of the luggage tags. So that's good.
And then after that, the game show was Strikeout Game Show,
That's right.
which isn't very descriptive, but what it was they played a song and they put up 2 years on the PowerPoint, and everybody was supposed to like go up front and move to either the year on the left or the year on the right for what year the song came out. So that was fun because, you know, you can't, it's hard because
Some of them were like only 1 year apart.
Yeah.
So you're kind of like, I don't know. It was kind of funny.
yeah, and some of those are relatively easy, but some of them were impossible. So it was just fun because people got eliminated, and
And then they each win. The person that won got another World Cruise Prize, which
Yeah.
was fun.
Yeah.
We didn't go up for that, but
no, it's hard to go up and come, especially when you don't know what you're doing, and you're probably just going to get out on the first round anyway.
it's kind of fun to watch. And then they do ask the audience, and then, you know, you would put our hand up, left, then we go left, you know, right, left, right, or whatever. So it was kind of, so
Yeah.
we did participate in a sense, but
Yeah.
from sitting,
Yeah, that probably had more energy than most of the game shows they do. So
yeah, it was fun.
And then after that, we went to the 9:30 show, which was a ventriloquist named C.J. Finley.
Which we've never seen him before.
No, we've never seen him. He's from northern England, Lancashire.
I think that's what he
somewhere
said,
in
yeah.
northern England. But he's lived in Australia for 15 years. He
Yeah.
was interesting because some of his stuff was good and some of it was maybe not so good. It's like, I don't know.
It wasn't bad.
He seemed to be a good ventriloquist
Yeah.
for most of the act.
It's very entertaining.
But the material he like started with was just old jokes and things that weren't that great. But then at the end, I thought his thing was funny. Did you think that was funny? He got a volunteer up on stage, and he had a little rig where he could a rig to put around their mouth, so it's like a fake mouth and lips, so that he was operating the lips and stuff and making the person say things.
And the guy was good because he did.
Yeah, the guy was funny.
Yeah, he used his arms like he told him to do and stuff.
And
But I don't think overall. I think the whole thing was good. It was entertaining. I don't think there's anything like bad about what he did.
Yeah, no, it was fine.
And I'm sure he's going to be on again.
Yeah,
so
he'll probably do another show.
Yeah,
We'll
and maybe
probably
they'll
see
do it in the Explorers Lounge or something. So we'll see, and we'll give you an update on if he does another show we go to.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
that was it.
Because I think all the entertainers that we've had up until just yesterday, I guess, whatever, they all got off, and then the new people came on yesterday.
Yeah.
So,
and then a lot of people are leaving in New Zealand because the enrichment guy is leaving
before we get to
Australia. Right? Yeah. So I think there will be even more changes.
Yeah.
So
we'll see how.
So this is good.
And we're halfway through our cruise now.
We're halfway done.
Went fast. It's going to go even faster.
Yeah, it's going to go faster because the day after tomorrow now we're getting into New Zealand, so we'll be there fairly soon. We'll travel around New Zealand, then Australia, but only for 3 ports in Australia, and we leave from Perth, so we don't get to do too much in Australia, so we're hoping to come back.
Well, yeah, it'll be nice to get home to our dog.
Well, yeah.
Kids, whatever. No, I'm just kidding.
All right,
Anyways.
I think that's it. Who do we want to shout out to?
I can't remember if we did a shout out to Rachel. Did we do a shout
We
out?
should do Rachel anyway.
Hey, Rachel, and your sister Susie, and your girls.
Yeah.
Hi to you, and we'll think of somebody else next time.
Yeah. Okay. So
All
that's
right.
it. Thanks
Take
for
care.
watching, everybody.
And again, if you want to subscribe. If you don't, it's okay too. But you can throw a like on it, our video, and that'd be great too.
Yeah. Thanks. And we like the comments too. Sorry we haven't been.
Oh yeah, that's
we
right.
haven't responded to every one of them yet, but.
Well, I don't get them. Ed
thanks for the
gets them because it's his account. So.
Yeah.
But anyways, probably better you do it anyway. So, all right. Well, take care. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.